Hello everyone, back to tuning in to today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. So day 10 will take us around the 21st of August. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, and they run to around a couple of weeks. Have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, as always, and I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say that the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast, and we also released, of course, the USA forecast as well as on a Wednesday. Have a look at what's going on in America. So please like, share, subscribe on all our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Just say that merch is available. Gaz Weather's merch is out there. So if you would like some Gaz Weather's face masks, phone covers, stickers, pillows, we've sold quite a few pillows, had a bit of a run on those, beach towels, mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, glasses, you name it, it's out there. So have a look at Gaz Weather's merch if you'd like to do that. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. As I say, we've sold quite a few pieces of merch. I've been surprised how much we've sold. It's gone very well so far. Especially popular seems to be the pillows, which I have been a little bit surprised about. But there we go. That's what a lot of people seem to like. They do look very nice, I have to say. I've got one myself. So yeah, if you want a pillow for Gaz Weather's, then check it out. And all merch is available. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the Gaz Weather's merch. Amazing. Right, okay, so central temperature is currently standing at 16.1. Actually, let's just scroll this a bit. So central temperature is standing at 16.1 at the moment. That's an anomaly of just 0.2 of a degree above average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 10th of August. It certainly has been a cooler sort of first 10 days to August to average compared to June and July. So we had a very warm June at 15.5. That's 1.5 degrees above average. July, almost 1.5 degrees above average again at 17.7. And then we've got August so far just 0.2 of a degree above average. So basically about average for 61 to 1990. Probably a little bit cooler than average for 81 to 2010. That may tick up a little bit over the next few days, and then over the weekend into about next week it might start to reduce a little bit. It looks like it can be hovering somewhere in the 16s over the next few days, I would have thought. So no sign of an excessively hot month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average. So you see it's for London. You see we're a little bit above average at the moment. We will get a bit of a reduction there briefly towards the end of the week. Then maybe a bit of a lift up again at the end of the week. Nothing excessively hot, just a bit warm. And then through the weekend into about next week goes cooler than average for a while as a trough of low pressure digs in from the north. Into the last week of August, we may have a little bit of a warming trend appearing there, more definitive warming trend, perhaps into the last sort of week or so of August, with some really quite warm ensemble members at that point. So nothing particularly dramatic showing up. Looks like we're going to be hovering a bit above average over the next few days, but a bit cooler over weekend into early next week. Precipitation wise, going to be a lot of dry weather for the next few days, and then we'll gradually get a bit more unsettled, I think, through the weekend, and especially into the early to middle part of next week, before probably drying out again into the last week of the month. Temperature anomalies from the 11th to 19th of August, very close to average, not a particularly big deviation, a bit cooler than average in the northern half of the country, maybe a little bit above average in the southern half of the country, but nothing particularly dramatic showing up there. And precipitation anomalies from the 11th to 19th of August, largely dry and ashore England and Wales and east of Scotland, a little bit closer to average or a bit wetter, perhaps the west of Scotland and down into Ireland. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows we've got quite a deep area of low pressure sitting in the Atlantic at the moment. This weather front is moving in from off the Atlantic, bringing rain into northern and western parts of the country. That's how the UK Met Office midnight run is looking for midnight on Saturday. Low pressure to North Scotland Ridge down in the south. As we go through the weekend and into next week, this trough of low pressure drops in from the north, particularly affecting northern and eastern areas, bringing the risk of some showery weather there. A ridge out in the west could keep western areas drier. It will turn cooler over the weekend, particularly into the early part of next week with winds in from a northwesterly direction. And then up to a week out, which gets us to midnight on Wednesday, the UK Met Office midnight run has high pressure ridging back in from west, but still kind of centered just to our west actually. So yes, it will be turning drier again after showery interlude through next week, but probably keeping wind in from the northwest could be a little bit on the cooler side, especially for more eastern and northern areas. Right, so have a look at GFS as far as we go to UK Met. Have a look at the GFS midnight run. Again, low pressure north of Scotland, high pressure across France. So a little bit on the drier side for southern areas, perhaps as we go into weekend, more showery up in the north. Then this low pressure digs in from the north and northwest through weekend into part of next week. Definitely looks more unsettled, more showery and cooler as we get through into the early part of next week. This trough of low pressure pushing through the country, bring the risk of showers, and with winds in from a northeast direction, it's probably going to be quite cool as well. Into the middle of next week, so we've got high pressure ridging in from the northwest. That brings drier weather to more northern west areas. Could still be a little bit showery in the south and southeast actually in the middle part of next week. Winds in from a north-northeast direction, probably quite cool. And then perhaps a little bit bizarrely, the GFS midnight run develops an area of low pressure from France into a very significant feature and pushes it north. And suffice to say, if that came off, it would bring a bit of a deluge to southern and southeastern parts of the country, probably torrential rain, maybe thunder. I think that is a little bit of an synoptic outlier, but I don't think there's many GFS ensemble members developing that area of low pressure. So I would have thought the more likely scenario is that we just cool or cooler and dry with a ridge somewhere out to our west-northwest through the middle part of next week. But if that low pressure did come up from France, of course, that would bring a proper deluge to southern and southeastern areas. That low on a midnight GFS run still hanging around across England and Wales. Eventually it gets out of the way. And then the midnight GFS run does start to build up the Azores high in the extended range. So we go off into a much drier and warmer final week of August under the area of high pressure from the Azores. Right, that's how the midnight run's looking. This is the 6th there, the very latest. So again, we've got low pressure out to our north-northwest. I'll put webcam back on. I forgot to do that, haven't I? There we go. We'll put webcam back on and we'll carry on. So this is Saturday with low pressure to our north and northwest. Again, bringing rain to northwest areas. Some of these areas probably having a lot of dry weather through Saturday. And then on Sunday, this low digs in from the northwest, probably bringing showers or longer spells, rain, and a drop in temperature as well. That carries on into the early part of next week with trough of low pressure, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain, and quite cool temperature too. High pressure is out in the middle of the Atlantic, so as we go to the second half of next week, we're into a rather cool northwesterly, but we'll be turning drier as that trough of low pressure clears away. No significant low pushing up from France into the second half next week, the 6th then. Instead, it just moves the area of high pressure in across country. So still a lot of uncertainty about next week's weather, it has to be said. This looks like a more likely scenario to me compared to that GFS midnight run, which develops that very significant low from France at the end of next week. This looks more like it, but we'll see. So high pressure builds in anyway. Second half next week turns us drier and no doubt warmer too. And then the 6th day goes into a real high pressure fest in the extended range with this large ridge centred over to the east of the country, bringing in very warm, potentially quite hot easterly winds, blocking the progress of low pressure out to our west. And we'll just finish up with high pressure still dominating right at the very end of the GFS run. It gets us to Friday 27th of August. No real change. High pressure sat over to the east of the country, bringing in these very warm or potentially quite hot southeasterly winds from off the continent. So yeah, proper high pressure fest with the GFS 6H. Should we go back and have a look at some of the upper air temperatures, Max? I'm not sure how hot it's getting. So let's have a look at this. So we'll flip back over there. So yeah, it looks very warm. I mean, we've got plus 15 Celsius ice over northern parts of France, so it's not excessively hot with the upper air temperatures there. But they're warm enough to get temperatures into surface temperatures like into the upper 20s Celsius, if not to the 30 Celsius mark. And again, just keeping that plus 15 Celsius over the northern part of France. No excessive or extreme heat with that, but certainly very warm, too hot. Temperatures could be expected with those upper air temperatures to be at least in the upper 20s Celsius. Right, GM looks like this. If you enjoy this video, please hit the special like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. For Gaz, drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Right, this is how the GM is looking. So, again, Saturday is drier in the south, probably unsettled in the north. And then through Sunday into Monday, this trough low pressure drops in from the north and brings us showery outbreaks of rain and cooler temperatures through the part of next week as well. That low pressure moves into the low countries on Tuesday. Again, with winds in from the north, it's bound to be cool. It's bound to be quite showery. High pressure is centred out to our west. Middle to second half next week, again, finds this high pressure ridging in from off the Atlantic. So beginning to settle down, just a little bit less cool perhaps through the second half of next week. And up to day 10, high pressure is in control. It centres well to our north, so it's not particularly warm. This, in fact, could be a bit cool by night anyway, under that area of high pressure. But by day, it would feel very pleasant in the sunshine. Winds are kind of in from a northeasterly direction due to how far north high pressure is centred. And then we've got the ECM WF, which looks like that. Again, showery in the north on Saturday, drier down in the south. Sunday through to Monday looks a little bit unsettled, with low pressure to our east and pulling in winds from rather a cool and showery northwesterly type direction. Into the middle of next week, high pressure is maintained out to our west, so we keep wind in from a northwesterly. Probably mainly dry, quite warm for southern and western areas, a little bit cooler and showery in the north and northeast in particular. And then another sort of trough drops in from the north in the second half next week. That sort of brings more showery conditions and probably renews the northerly wind again. Up to day 10, which is the 21st of August, Saturday 21st, high pressure generally centred over and to the west of the country. So, I mean, it's a little bit more settled, but it's probably a bit on the cool side. And with this, we would have to watch out for this low around Iceland to potentially drop in from the north again if that high pressure pulls out any further. The ECM midnight run looks a little bit cool, I have to say, today. This is the precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from Tameteo.com. So, plenty of showery conditions in the north and west over the next few days. Then into next week, turning more definitively unsettled through the middle part of the week, and then winds in from the north, and that takes us up to day 10, of course, where it's turning mainly dry, but it's a little bit on at the cool side. Right, let's turn the webcam off and have a look at the upside table within the ECM ensemble. So these are them. This is for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. We have, it gets 21st of August, have 13 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our north and bringing in wind from like a northeasterly direction. So, not dry weather with that by day 10, but a little bit on the cool side. 13 with high pressure to our west and northwest, and around that we're bringing in wind from quite a cool northwesterly direction. 12 with high pressure centred around Scotland. That's bringing in the wind from perhaps a slightly warmer easterly direction. 8 with high pressure again to our north, northwest. Winds coming in from the east with that. And then 5 with low pressure just to our west-northwest, and that will be a little bit more unsettled. Most of the options seem to involve high pressure, but the placement of the ridge, or from the placement of the ridge, I wouldn't necessarily be expecting anything all that warm. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 26th of August. 22 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just to our north, bringing in winds around that high pressure from the east. That could be quite warm. 16 with high pressure over the country, or ridging through the country. So it should be quite a bit of dry weather with that. We might be pulling in something a little bit cooler from the north with that, though. And then 13 with a Scandinavian high, bringing in wind again from an easterly direction. Probably reasonably dry about, and could be quite warm if the winds are coming up from a southeasterly direction. Still the signs are there, but we have much more in way of high pressure through the second half of August. But it's not necessarily guaranteed to get all that hot. CFS V2 finally, so it's a 500 millibar heights breaking down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 11th to the 17th of August. The coming week we'll have high pressure just to the south of the country. Low pressure will be out to the northwest. So the high pressure taking over is becoming increasingly settled and probably a little bit warmer as well. Week 2 is going to be the 18th, 24th of August with high pressure more or less over slightly east of the country. That could be very warm, and with high pressure in control should be mostly dry. Week 3 is going to be the 25th to the 31st of August, still with plenty of high pressure over the country and ridging in from the east. So again, should be mainly dry and potentially warm or very warm with that. And then week 4 is the 1st to the 7th of August. Still quite a bit of high pressure, but its position is changing a bit to be more centred out to our west, which, if nothing else, brings in cooler air from the northwest, but would still be mostly dry with high pressure dominating weather. So lots of high pressure on the way through the second half of August and into the early part of September, if that is correct. If you enjoyed the video, please can you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And it's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing this for us. We're going to put on around number 65 subscribers to get to 11.8k. So yeah, that's our next sort of mini target. The ultimate target at the moment is 12k, of course. When we get to 12k, we are going to be giving away a prize to thank everybody for their support. So the prize will either be like some merch or an Amazon voucher. We'll definitely do something at 12k subscribers. When we get to 11.8k, I'll let everybody know what we're doing. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Subs are moving quite quickly at the moment. Right, that's it for today's videos. Tomorrow we're going to... It's not the most exciting of periods, I have to say, with the model output at the moment, but it's like classic sort of late summer type weather that we're entering into, where we do get these sort of quieter interludes later August into early September. Very often we have it like that, so it's quite typical, and I'm sure things will start livening up before too much longer. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to be back with European Outlook. Have a 10 to 14 day for you as well tomorrow. That's going to include all the regular features too, so keep checking back to all of the updates for this today's, I should say, for today's videos. That's all for now though, and thanks for watching.